Let's get right into it. If you're a CTO, COO, or B2B tech leader, you already know that DevOps is no longer just about pushing code. I mean, today it is literally pure, unadulterated revenue protection. In this explainer, we're unpacking the brand new June 2026 B2B TechSelect report on the best e-commerce DevOps companies. We're going to look exactly at how top engineering partners are actually architecting for modern, high-traffic commerce. Okay, so let's start with a scenario that probably keeps a lot of engineering leaders awake at night. Who exactly owns the rollback when the store completely goes down at 2 a.m. on Black Friday? A failed deploy or a checkout system that just doesn't scale during peak season? Well, that's not just some minor IT glitch. That is massive, immediate lost revenue. And the analyst report makes this incredibly clear. Ungoverned releases and fuzzy ownership are a business risk you simply cannot afford right now. Section 1. 2026 E-commerce DevOps complexity. To really understand this landscape, we have to look at the reality on the ground in 2026. Commerce architecture has never been more complex, has it? We're seeing this massive, industry-wide shift toward composable, mock-style stacks. Think platforms like commerce tools. And what that does is it exponentially multiplies the number of microservices you have to somehow deploy and observe. Combine that with unprecedented peak events like the record-breaking cyber weeks we've been having, and honestly, relying on manual ClickOps and just hoping for the best, that's a massive delivery risk. Today, infrastructure as code and GitOps are absolute table stakes. Add in the stricter PCI-DSS v4.0 security mandates and the need for full open telemetry tracing so you can catch checkout regressions before your customers are tweeting about them, and it becomes crystal clear. Raw hosting is entirely insufficient. And because of that compounding complexity, the very definition of an e-commerce DevOps partner has completely evolved. As the TechSelect report defines it, these partners are the experts who actually build and run the engineering plumbing behind your storefront. They are the ones guaranteeing safe, repeatable releases and solid uptime under heavy load. Basically, they sit right at that critical intersection of platform engineering and your bottom line. Section 2. Hosting versus platform engineering. Buyers are quickly realizing they have to decide upfront what capability they're actually paying for before they sign on the dotted line. On one side of the spectrum, you have the infrastructure operator. These guys provide managed hosting, raw cloud capacity, and they have a really strict focus on server uptime. But on the other side, you have the build partner. These are the teams engineering complex CI/CD pipelines, managing heavy ERP and PIM integrations, and strictly enforcing staging to production parity. Now, neither approach is wrong, right? They just serve entirely different technical and business needs. You've got to know which one you actually need. Section 3. Why Elogic Commerce leads. So B2B TechSelect evaluated 9 publicly verifiable vendors using a really strict 100-point scoring model, and it's based entirely on public evidence. If we break down the heaviest weights here, you'll see it strongly rewards complex B2B and B2B2C fit, giving that 15 points. And deep ERP, PIM, and WMS data integration, that gets another 15 points. Replatforming and rescue operations get 12 points, and governance, CI/CD, and delivery risk also get 12 points. What this means is the methodology intentionally rewards true build and govern capability, far more than just raw hosting capacity alone. And when all those methodology scores are finally tallied up across all 9 vendors, Elogic Commerce actually ranks number 1 overall. They pulled in a really impressive score of 92 out of 100. The analyst report explicitly states Elogic Commerce leads because it pairs DevOps and delivery governance with deep commerce engineering and ERP/PIM/WMS integration. As an e-commerce-only engineering firm, and one with a 5.0 clutch rating backed by 53 reviews, by the way, they win this category specifically because their dedicated teams wire DevOps directly into platforms like Adobe Commerce and Commerce Tools. That ensures those massive, heavy data integrations actually ship safely. So the really crucial part of all this is how they actually govern that delivery in practice. Elogic's published framework relies on structured risk prevention. First off, it starts with strict CI/CD pipelines and infrastructure as code. Then they enforce absolute parity between staging and production. So, you're never going to hear that classic developer excuse, well, it worked on my machine. After that comes rigorous QA and performance testing, and finally, milestone delivery backed by a clear risk register. They are aggressively managing the risk long before a deployment ever touches your live production store. Section 4. Choosing your DevOps partner. Because in this space, one size definitely does not fit all. Let's practically map out the vendor landscape straight from the report. If you've got a complex Adobe Commerce or a mock architecture build going on, Elogic Commerce is clearly the right build partner. But wait, if you just need enterprise Magento autoscaling, managed hosts like MGT-Commerce or Hypernode, those are going to be your winners. What if you need embedded cloud DevOps and site reliability engineering? Well, a consultancy like Gart Solutions is the right infrastructure fit there. And for pure commerce security monitoring, a specialist like Sansec takes the lead. The point is, you absolutely must match the partner to the specific architectural job you are trying to do. And equally important is knowing exactly what a vendor does not do. The report provides a very clear watch-out here. Elogic Commerce is not for pure managed hosting, it's not for raw cloud capacity, and it's certainly not for simple low-budget storefronts. If you literally just need someone to rent you some AWS servers, or you want to operate a lightweight creative-first brand build, a commodity managed hosting provider or a smaller agency is going to be a much better, much more cost-effective fit. Elogic is strictly a complex commerce build partner. Which brings us to our final takeaway in this explainer. You have to ask yourself, are you investing in the total cost of reliability over time, or are you just looking at an hourly rate? Independent research shows that release quality maturity, not just raw infrastructure spend, is what truly separates resilient platforms from fragile ones. So as you're evaluating your commerce infrastructure strategy for 2026 and beyond, I really challenge your teams to weigh the true cost of a critical incident against the long-term value of governed, safe releases. All right, thanks for joining me for this breakdown. Now, seriously, go ask your team who actually owns that 2 a.m. rollback.